Technology. It shapes and reshapes our world. The hardware and the software make us aware of better ways of doing things. For work or for leisure, technology can improve our lives and re-energize our lifestyles. We can create it or we can adapt it. The technology of the present can help us prepare for a future perfect.
Good evening, I'm TJ Manotok, sitting in again for Tony Velasquez. The Department of Science and Technology is reviving the proposal for a national broadband network, despite the controversies linked to the shelved NBN-ZTE deal during the Arroyo administration. The DOST says a government broadband network, or GBN, would not only integrate data, it will also save government more than ₱1 billion a year, compared to what is currently being spent for the internet connectivity. The DOST says their proposal is completely different from the $329 million project that would have been undertaken by Chinese firm ZTE. And joining us tonight to tell us about the proposed government broadband network, our DOST Undersecretary Louis Casambre. He is the Executive Director of DOST's Information and Communications Technology Office, and Engineer Dennis Villorente, Director of DOST's Advanced Science and Technology Institute. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us. Well, it's something that caught a lot of people by surprise. Everybody thought that after the NBN ZTE discussion, the anomalies, that this would be something that would be shelved and not probably talked about, but all of a sudden we're hearing the need for it. Although arguably people have said in the past that there was a necessity for that project as well. Maybe not in that scale, or maybe not with how they would have done it actually. But why the revival now, and how do you see the need for this new GBN, what we're calling it now?
Well, thank you, TJ, for inviting us. There is a need. Mm-hmm. Actually, we see a lot of our citizens not getting the services they need.
Okay.
For example, at POEA right now, you have to actually go to up to 8 offices to get a job outside.
Wow, 8 different offices, not 8 different floors in one building, but actually 8 different offices.
Yes.
Okay.
Our vision is that you can do this with one office.
Okay. If it were interconnected.
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
Precisely.
So that's one basic example.
Yeah. And then a little bit down the road, through the community e-centers, you won't even have to come to Manila. You can do it from your barangay.
Okay.
So that's okay. Those are the things the citizens will get. Now, along with the other programs of the DOST, for example, dengue.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're talking about actually forecasting dengue.
Okay.
Or the possible outbreak of it before it happens, using ICT.
Okay, because we could monitor real time.
Right.
The
Precisely.
cases that are happening in the different government hospitals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with another DOST technology, we can go in and actually prevent it from happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting your point. I'm getting your point that there are clear examples that it would be needed. It would make services much faster. It would make some services available where they were not available in the past, right? But I guess for a viewer's perspective, how different is this from the NBN, proposed NBN before, and this GBN now? From what I understand, basically, is that you would be using existing assets of the government and possibly piggybacking, I don't know if that's the right term, with the private sector as well, that would eventually lessen costs?
Well, the correct word is collaborating.
Collaborating, okay.
Actually, when we were developing this concept paper, we actually talked to the telcos.
Okay.
And they were all for it.
They were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this will actually create market for them. Okay. So how is it different? The technology is fundamentally different.
Okay.
Maybe Dennis should fill us in on the details.
Well, one basic difference is that for the core of the network, we would like to be able to use fiber optic cable, whereas for NBN ZTE, they want it to be built using microwave radio.
Okay.
And the basic difference is with fiber, you have almost unlimited capacity, whereas with the microwave radio, what you install is what you get, and it will be very difficult to scale it later on. Okay. And I think that is one very important characteristic if you want to build a government network.
Is that an explanation of the argument that the NBN project would have been obsolete by the time of its completion? There was that perspective as well. There was that perception of that the technologies it was supposed to use.
Yes, that is one aspect of it. At the same time, the equipment they were proposing to use is something that is, I would say, expensive at this time, and there are other technologies that are available already in the market, which could have been used for that.
Well, the president actually was, our media, our very active media, was able to get a quote from the president a day ago about this, and he did admit that you guys were working on this study right now, and he did say something that he emphasized that we would not renew or revive the ZTE, the NBN ZTE plan, yet we'll utilize what we already have. So what is significant that we have that we can use as a major asset to get this rolling faster and cheaper?
For one thing, in Metro Manila, there is fiber along the rail lines of the LRT.
Okay.
And
that is being used for
that
what?
is being used for signaling of LRT. But
Really?
at the same time, they have spare fiber, which has been installed from the from the time it was there. That is not being used.
Okay.
And that's a government asset.
Right.
And it may be used. It could be used.
It could be used as well.
And
And there's no harm since it's being used for signaling the trains as opposed to being used to transfer
it's actually
data
the
from
same
government
because
offices.
it's being used for communication.
It's
signaling
for data as well anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And that's running along the tracks.
Correct.
But it's safely secured
Yes.
in an area where it won't get damaged if, let's say, the train stops or stalls or something like that.
Yeah, it's actually
Well, the train would crash if that broke.
The train would crash if it broke to begin. Okay, so that's clearly out of the picture. All right. There was talk that we would save money. But if we do save money, how will this make the telcos happy? Because we're currently using their services, their private services. So in that respect, you did say we'll partner with them, we'll work with them. How could this still benefit them and make them a happy partner in this whole program?
Right now, our internet penetration into the country is not that high.
Yeah. Okay.
If we can help them develop markets outside outside Metro Manila,
Okay.
then once those markets are mature, they will need private service. Those services.
I see your point. So not necessarily making money off of the government with how we'll be using it, how the government will be using it, but rather in the long run, for the markets you'll be potentially
expanding
opening for them.
actually the market that they can earn from.
Okay.
I mean, using this infrastructure to be able to provide compelling services that will attract subscribers to use their network.
Okay.
And the compelling service here is government service, which is online and accessible to the public wherever they are at any time of the day.
And so, I mean, ideally, you're looking at a future wherein we could see residents, citizens from, places that are far from the metropolis, from urban areas, just simply using the internet to get government services, to apply for certain licenses or certificates. That will be done soon. I mean, is that how you envision the government to work out and service the people?
Yep.
Okay. And did they get this right away, or did you have to sell them this idea now? Okay, even we'll cut down our costs on what we pay you now, but in the future, when this happens, so and so. I mean, did they get it right away, or did it take a while to convince them? Because
They probably knew it first.
Sorry?
They probably knew it first.
They had an idea.
What happened was we actually invited them to a consultation meeting, but beforehand we already gave them written material, so they had time to look at it. And when we had that meeting, we discussed it with them, and actually their reaction is very positive because in fact they wanted to create a group already that will help us develop the concept further.
Okay, because that's a lot of money. You're talking about saving ₱1 billion a year. And how much is that breakdown? How much of that 1 billion actually goes to them? And how much would they potentially lose in the short term?
We don't. We have to work.
You don't know.
We have to work
Estimates,
out.
or estimates. Any estimates? Like half of it? 30% of it?
The annual operating costs, actually, that goes to them, whether in the form of access links or in the form of internet service, internet port charge, we call it, or in the form of maintenance service.
Okay. All right. Well, now, I guess some questions that people will be asking is, will this option of this certain technology you want to use, as you were saying, fiber rather than the microwave, will it be faster? Would it be safer as well? Because we want to keep our government data secure. I mean, we've heard of nightmares of abroad, how their accounts have been hacked and certain accounts have been leaked to the public. But how can we assure our citizens that with the government agencies that will be using this and interconnecting, that it will be faster and more secure?
Well, security is always a problem. Right now in Congress, there's a cybersecurity bill, which we are also pushing. Cybercrime bill, which will take security to the next level. Okay, because right now it's actually a civil offense to hack somebody's website.
Just a civil offense.
Yeah, it's
not
just
even
a civil
criminal offense. So those who had defaced the government websites, even if we knew who they were, they're not criminally liable after
precisely.
all. Okay.
But with the cybercrime bill, it will now be a criminal offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a timetable you're looking at already, or are you still in that phase of, trying to lay out the groundwork of what to use, where to put it, who to work with, or do you have a time frame in mind already when you wanna?
Well, we do, but we prefer to get the president's approval first.
Okay. How involved is he in this early stage right now? How much is this a priority for him to know what's going on? How privy is he to the?
Well, one indication is I can say that we've had 3 occasions where we had the opportunity to give an update of this to him.
And what was his response like? Did he say certain things in response, or
a lot
was it
of
just
questions,
good facial expressions?
a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but I guess the indication is his most recent comment about what we're doing and that he's monitoring the situation, and that this infrastructure is really what is the term? Something that government needs.
we need.
Yeah,
it's a necessity.
Yeah. It's a necessity.
You'd rank it there. It's not just a want to be better. It's a necessity, you'd say.
It's a future the country needs.
It's something that we should do if we want to be competitive, because we're in competition with other countries, and if we don't do this, then we'll lose out.
What would you say are the challenges in implementing this plan, aside from public scrutiny, given the paranoia of the NBN-ZTE brouhaha? What other challenges do you foresee down the road?
Getting the rest of government to buy into the idea. Helping to educate our people.
Yeah, I can imagine that would entail a massive PR campaign as well, in the sense that if you do want to, cut on costs from people traveling from, let's say, furthest point of Luzon to Ortigas to go to POEA, that they can do it from their homes. I mean, you'd have to somehow explain that, hey, by the way, the government can do this for you now. Just get yourself to an internet cafe or yada yada, and you can save yourself a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of hassle. But is that in the discussions as well? The information campaign of, I mean, because it would be disappointing if you build this,
Yeah.
you build it, and it won't be used to its full capacity right away.
Bringing it to the people, to the countryside, is a integral part of the program. No?
Okay.
So with the community e-centers, right now we have 150 all throughout the country. It's in our plan to put in 1,000 more. So there will be a presence in the countryside for the people to inform them of all these services.
Have there been criticisms already along the way? I guess give us an idea of how long you guys have been, putting this together. As you said, you've made it clear that it is a necessity. So I could gather that it's a critical, priority for the DOST to deliver to Malacanang and to the country as well.
Yeah, my organization, the DOST Advanced Science and Technology, has been, we're basically a research and development institute, and we actually operate the National Research and Education Network here since 1998. So in terms of the technologies and relationships to bring this together within government, I could say that we have some experience with that. And so if you're asking how long we've been working on this, I can say that we've been working on this since 1998.
Wow, okay.
But specifically on the GBN concept, that started when we were asked by the Secretary Montejo, what can we do to improve government services for the people using ICT?
Okay. Would it matter to you? I have this perception that scientists and geeks wouldn't really care about politics. But given the big issue that it had before, would it matter that, the opposition, I would say, see, we told you we needed this before. I mean, see, this should have been a priority then, but, so many people jumped in and messed it up, and it got derailed. Would that matter to you guys? Would the political squabbling matter, let's say in Congress and Senate, or the former administration's personalities, or would you just be, getting down to work?
Well, of course, DJ, we're sensitive to it. But it's something worth doing. So, we're resolved to face all the issues. That's okay. Because the project will speak for itself.
Well, speaking of, building infrastructure, of course, this entails budget. Has this been brought up already in the budget for, I guess this will fall under the DOST?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Where will it fall under?
I'd rather not say.
Okay.
I mean, no, of course.
Will it catch us all by surprise eventually?
No,
when you
no,
tell
no,
us?
of course not.
It would
Of
make
course not.
logical sense of where it would make sense as to
Well,
whose budget this will fall under.
It's what the government seems to see that it is necessary. So probably a realignment of funds.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Okay. But there's no ballpark figure that you're looking at as to how much this would cost.
It's still under study, as I said. No?
Okay, but clearly the priority is to make it much, much cheaper
Yeah,
than
it
the previous
definitely,
one.
absolutely
Yeah.
will be much cheaper.
Okay. And as you said, much more effective with the speed and, with
Scalability.
with the technologies you're using. I mean, it sounds to me you made that a priority, that you'd use technologies that are future-proof. Would you say that's the word you're looking at? The theme you're looking at?
Which are I guess state of the art without being really
Too expensive?
Yeah.
Because for some people who are into technology, they'd have that notion that something that would be future-proof would always be the current top of the line, and essentially that's
the
normally
nice thing
more
about
expensive.
fiber, TG.
Sorry, that's the nice thing about fiber.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about fiber.
Okay.
The area in which you can grow is very, very wide. You can start small, and then add a little more,
Okay.
and it won't cost you that much.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess how much can the people expect the DOST will be transparent with this every step of the way? Because that's been the thrust of the Aquino, administration, that they will be transparent. They will be showing the people how things are done. How will this work out with the DOST and the critics, the pundits out there who would want to see how this is being done? Would that be Director Liboro's job?
Probably.
I mean, that's
One thing
been his challenge.
I guess this will go through public bidding.
Okay, that's the first, clearly, and it will be known by everybody as well, for the people who will be partnering and coming in as well. And I guess the fact that you said that you're going to be involving the telcos to begin with, would make it as public as it is as well. All right, well, we wish you the best of luck. It makes perfect sense as well that, especially with the examples you cited, as basic as it is, for the basic citizen, how much convenience it would give them, even for those areas that don't have specific services that they'd eventually have. So we wish you all the best, and we hope that the political squabbling does not get in the way this time and things are ironed out smoothly. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much.
Folks, you already consume your music and videos digitally, so why are you still holding on to that